I just would say anything you want to dream, just don't be afraid. I think that's the moral of my story. I think this all started with the dream, and really Jen is my muse. I never intended to own a store, and she told me that I had to stop saying that because like 2 years ago I was like, I don't want this. This is your dream, not mine. And she's like,
don't say that.
She's like, stop saying that. You do like it.
You do love it.
Love
You're
it.
running a business. You own a business, and you're like a pillar of the community. Like that's what you get out of it. I get to do my fashion and you get to be a mogul,
but dream,
is just
like dream big and
thing.
take steps towards your dream. And that's the thing about ideas and dreams is that really that's all they are until you take action. And so I'm very big on like action.
Season 3, ladies. I know it's been over a year since we last seen each other. We had to take time off to do self-development and growth. And when I say we, I mean myself and my wonderful partner, Anthony Ortiz. Without him, the show wouldn't be possible. He is the man, literally the man behind the scenes. We're here. It's 2024, and this year it's all about opening doors and going through them and seeing the wonderful opportunities this year is giving us. For example, we now have a live radio show on KQBH 101.5 FM. Who knew Women Creating Magic was going to be live on radio? On season 3, we have Brittany Price, an incredible artist, Kara Connolly, whose music is so inspiring and beautiful, Savannah and Sky from Sky Studio, Naomi Hart, whose influence changes people's lives, and many more women that I'm very proud of what they are doing and what they keep continuing to do. I wanted to create a platform for women to have a real conversation about our experiences in all industry and just talk about that moment that we decided to take control of our lives as women. This platform is an outlet to discuss topics that we as women don't talk about. For example, at night when you're ready to go to bed, like literally ready to go to bed, and instead of actually falling asleep, you're thinking of 100 different things instead of actually sleeping. Now you're up all night, anxious, wondering how to manage all these thoughts, all these emotions. If this resonates with you, you're not alone. You're not the only one struggling with these challenges. So many women I've talked to with on Women Creating Magic also share the same experience. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, comment, and leave a review because all of that will really help us out and keep us going. So whatever you're doing, sit back, have a glass of wine or a cup of tea, and enjoy the conversation to come. On today's episode, we have the Plus Bus founders, Jen Wilder and Marcy Guevara Preet. This was a fun show to work on, and these two women are one of a kind. I'm very happy to say that they're my friends, and we keep on growing. Please welcome Jen and Marcy from the Plus Bus.
Like me as a kid, I grew up super poor, and so even I never bought anything new. Like my whole entire life was Goodwill. Like we didn't shop new. And my parents are super like hippies, and super resourceful and just stuff like that. But I feel like the Plus Bus is literally a reflection of our resourcefulness because we had noticed an investment we made in clothes and we noticed that there was no marketplace for our investment. And then we were left with, it came to me because of having a child, and I was really reflecting on what am I going to leave for her? What if she's not plus size? What, all these clothes that I've bought, I don't know what to do with them to make them into something that's actually a reflection of this is my art, this is my investment, this is my legacy. My legacy really is my style and how I take stuff and make it into something that looks like me, even though it might be a mass produced item or whatever. But it's just the amount of stuff that we have had to negotiate within our own desires, wants, dreams, and just having a partner that's realistic and having a partner that's very creative and artistic, I think really does.
That's good.
But
it just helps you to build and to realize not everything has to happen right now, but as long as we keep investing in what we believe in and keep making it better. So like, I feel like every time people come into the store, I get so much of my soul food from them saying, wow, it looks so much different than the last time I
I mean, people that haven't been here since our old store. I don't know when you like came into
my first time coming into
this one. So that you only know this store. So we have another location that we use right now as like a warehouse, and it's kind of in flux. But when we started, like almost 6 years ago, we still have customers that know us from then. So when they come in here,
500 square feet of a garage.
They
and
come
and
here.
We had a curtain for one wall. I mean, it was very, very, very low key in the
they
beginning.
come here and they're just like,
Wowed.
oh my gosh.
Wow.
Like they're literally like so impressed. And then the people that come here and this is day one, they think we're rich. They think we have so much money, so much investment, and
I hope they think that. I mean,
no.
I feel like we are really rich. Like,
I mean, we're blessed.
In clothes.
But,
like,
we're
we
blessed and
are
we're rich in clothes.
Rich in clothes, and we are rich in this like thing that we've built. And I think like that too. Like, I think as like a business partner, it's like sometimes hard to give ourselves credit for like the successes that we have had.
But I think what I'm saying too is like, and we'll let you talk, by the way. We can't shut up.
No, I like this is what it's about.
I think, are perceived sometimes as being a really big business and being really well established. And I've even had people tell me, don't say it's a small business. And I said, oh no, honey, I'm going to call it a small business until I have 30 employees, because we are a small business. We do still struggle. We are. We're mom and mom. Mom and mom.
Mappa and Mappa.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
everything.
We were talking about when I was here, I was just like, you were telling me, people think we're rich. People think we're like balling out money here and there. And I'm like, you're right. I can relate to that, because people think they have a perception of us outside in social media and seeing like, oh, they're making it. Like, look at them.
We're balling on a budget,
Yeah.
and we look good. We have a great access. We have a wonderful wardrobe. We look really good, but it is
You're
like
when we step out, we look.
Well, that's
Amazing.
part of the richness of the Plus
Yeah.
Fest is like we
Yeah.
do exist in this world now where we have an investment and a marketplace that we can like take what we have and make it into something else and actually benefit our lives rather than just like, buying clothes has a great feeling to it when it fits you and you look great. I mean,
Yes.
it's just like the most wonderful feeling in the world besides getting your hair cut. Like there's two.
it's called retail therapy for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got a good haircut, by the way.
You know?
Every time I go, so I just do it myself. But I know what you mean about when you go out there and you find that outfit, like it fits and it looks good,
And then
you want to
when
buy
you
like
add
3 more
the
because you don't know when is
layers.
the next time it's gonna be available. When I came here, I was like, oh shit, like they have so many different things that I'm like I was sitting here earlier, I was just like, oh, I want to buy that for Friday, because I invited you guys to the dinner that we're having at my house, Korean barbecue and all that
Whoa,
stuff.
yeah.
The whole works. And I saw it and I was like, oh, I wonder if I should do that. And I saw some pants and I was like, but then this, and so
You
I'm
do
al-
need to shop.
I'm
Yeah,
already
haven't shopped
like,
yet.
I'm already like,
You
okay,
really
I know
need
what
to
I need
shop.
to wear for that day, but I don't get that when I go anywhere else. Like, I don't get that. Like, my places to go shopping is, and I it's Walmart and it's Target and yeah, that's it. That's the only two
And those places have great options.
They do.
And
They
there's a
do.
marketplace and there's a place for them in the world. I mean, some of our favorite pieces in the store are the Target collabs.
Except the dresses that were sort of like from like the early 1920s.
That's everywhere though, girl. That's
But
all the way to
I was
luxury.
like,
Kim
You mean like
Kardashian.
that
Yes,
prairie
I got it.
cottage
I
core?
got it. The dress, I was like, okay, perfect. You can totally wear that with the belt and a hat and a sweater and some gloves and all. But who the heck is gonna dress couture like that? Nobody's
Well,
gonna
that's
wear
just
it like
the
that.
thing is like I would, but
You would,
I
but
can
people
if I
going to
want to,
Target are not
and you
thinking that
and like
way.
the people that want to wear Target stuff, like I feel like we've come to an age where there isn't like really a trend or a style. I think it's just like there's acceptable ways of dressing for different audiences, and like fashion is all about not caring about any of that and just like dressing for how you want to dress that day. Like, well, I mean, for me, I get up, I have an artistic vision. I see one piece and I think, okay, Americana, I have that Hot Wheels corset, like
I like the
to
way you
me,
think,
like
yeah.
it's more of an expression of like my feeling for that day, or like how I want people to like experience the whole vision. Whereas like I don't think Marcy thinks like that when she's getting dressed. It's just like, I have this to do, I have that to do, I want to be comfortable, I want to be stylish, I want to have the best brands, and I want to look chic and polished.
Or for me, it's like, how do I want to feel? Like today, I'm tired. I want to feel like put together, but I want to be really comfortable. I did kind of forget this was on camera. Because like podcast.
She didn't tell me, because I was like, oh my.
When you asked me, I was like, yes, it is. But it's just
starting to transition the word from like I have a show.
Or visual podcast, or an online show. As someone or like, I don't know, it doesn't matter. But I think for me, there are days also where I'm more prepared or less prepared, and I'm also like getting into my own fashion as being like an owner of the Plus Bus. I think that's very new for me. I want to look like I own a store. I want to, sometimes I need an outfit that is really truly going to take me from day to night. I don't have time to change, or I'm not going to have the bandwidth. I just need the outfit to go through the whole day. But I think experiencing and having the luxury to have so many clothes in the size that fits you allows you to have this openness to be able to express yourself. So even if it is Target, it's like, thank you, Target, for going to 6X or 4X or whatever.
Just be like, okay, I can take this
wherever, like, we should all have the ability to express ourselves through style, no matter our size. And that's what the Plus Bus is,
I hope
given
the
me.
Plus Bus becomes so big that it's like, you guys aren't Target.
I mean, we want to be Target. Like, we want to be like a plus size Mervyn's or Kohl's. Like, imagine if you were to go into a Forever 21 that was all plus. Like, we want to be a department store,
kids,
swim,
shoes, wide leg boots, wedding, bridal, photography,
athletic,
like,
camping.
even like makeup chairs that are bigger, and like a place where you could get glam and get your photos taken, like a JCPenney. I mean, honestly, like, I think of the old days of going shopping with my mom, and just like, even in this huge place with everything for every kind of person, I couldn't find anything. And it was just like the absence of choice for so long, I think, has brought me to the hoarding of fashion now. And just like changing, like, there is this thing that happens when you come to the Plus Bus and you have the Plus Bus as a resource. It's like, investing in your wardrobe becomes a different thing. Investing in your style becomes a different thing. Trying things becomes less scary. There is this thing of lack in plus sizes. You find it in your size, you buy it in every color. Like, that used to be the way.
Or if it fits, so I'm taking it home.
Or it's just,
I don't even like it that much, but I'm gonna wear
the black maxi dress, where it's like a uniform or whatever it is. Like, we just haven't had style choice, and we haven't had like the empowerment behind our choice. So like, now when we have like Lizzo and even like Megan Thee Stallion and people that are very curvy, outwardly facing, they're very curvy. They're changing the zeitgeist of like what is popular. We went from the waifs in the 90s, and then we had Kim Kardashian, and
I was like, you better drop Kim K, because if you don't.
I mean, I always have said that Kim Kardashian has changed the face of womanhood, and I stand by that statement, because before her, there was no curve at all.
Well, before it was Paris Hilton, and it was a stick.
And Nicole Richie, and they were sick.
And really never anybody brown. So for me, I'll take the Armenian brown skin and brown hair, because when people talk like, oh, we hate the Kardashians, I'm like, they're the closest thing I have felt connected to, like, visually. I'm half Persian, and I'm half Latina. So my family's Costa Rican and 50% Persian. So for me, when I look at Kim Kardashian, I mean, I remember feeling represented, even though she wasn't fat or even thick. But to have this new idea that, like, it was an hourglass again, it was a big butt. I mean, that has been revolutionary.
Yeah. It literally changed the face of fashion. It changed. I mean, she is an extraordinary point in time that all of us can say before Kim and after Kim, and I don't know what that means to you as far as like how you feel about it, but it is the truth of like what the ideal body type was like before Kim Kardashian and what the ideal body type is now. is.
I don't know that there is an ideal. I think it's changing.
I think there's definitely like
but
a
I think in
shift
our
away from
world,
sticks.
Yeah. The
It's just
shift
like-
is changing, but I think it's not like one.
Changed, that's for sure. It's completely changed because I remember, fucking low rise. Like, I remember those were so horrible. I couldn't find a pair of pants that can like cover my here, and I was like, what the fuck?
Or wearing low rise and being told it's not flattering on you, and being okay with the trend. Like I remember wanting my belly button pierced, and it was like, let's not do that. You know?
That's the thing. It's like you can do that. And it's
and that's what I was saying. Like, I think with our community and with like even just media in general, like, we're finding beauty in everything. We're finding beauty in places that we used to exclude from the beauty conversation. We're finding beauty in natural skin. We're finding freckles and natural hair and
scars.
Scars and differences. And just like, I think that as we evolve as humans and as we evolve as like shoppers and as we evolve our style, we all are kind of centering our own standard of beauty.
And that has to do a lot with social media, by the way.
1000%.
For sure, because if you compare this to 20 years ago, talking about this topic without really using the influence of the social media.
7 years ago, when we started.
Nothing.
Well, that's representation. I mean, I think that like that's such a, I don't know, earnest quote. Now, representation matters, but it really does. It really does matter. And even just like, I don't know, like your listeners, if they're business owners or if they're looking for inspiration creatively, or if they're looking for body positivity. But for us, like for me, it's really important that people see us as fat, female business owners who are not from money and have made a business for themselves and have made a path and created a community. And that is important to be represented when you see Shark Tank or you see other depictions of business owners, and maybe it is very white or it is very rich or it's, I don't know, it's pretty amazing to kind of have built something out of nothing, and for it to be in this cross section of not only the plus size world and the body positive world, but the sustainability element that I really like. I did not grow up shopping secondhand. I grew up thinking like it smells, it's dirty, or it just, we were middle class, upper middle class. Like we had enough money to just go to the mall. And so I'd never shop secondhand. And then when I got into it was cool and you want to thrift, I couldn't find anything. So then I hated it even more. But it's been such a gift now. And especially as we go to being more conscious about the environment, like I love now being a secondhand shopper. And I see my friends that have the most money, they don't pay retail for anything. So anyways,
that's kind of true.
I think also just being aspirational figures in the community and like being people that have not let our weight dictate what kind of life we're going to live. Like for me and for Marcy, I think that we decided a long time ago that we were going to put aside all the things that were told to us that we couldn't be because of our bodies. And we decided to create the world that we wanted to live in. And I think that part of why I dress the way that I do, or that I invest so much passion and heart and thought into it, is because, sorry, I'm going to get emotional, but I want people to see us living in these bodies.
Yeah. Not waiting 5 pounds or buying a dress for 10 pounds from now, or saying I'll own a business when I have the body that
or
says,
find a partner,
or find love, or travel, or go to Vegas, or do any of the things that I think I was told since I was very young. And I'm 10 years older than most of the people here, so I think I have like even more that societal ingrained fat phobia that I grew up with, where it was just like, it wasn't a question. You weren't supposed to be fat.
Or the main character. Like, we're main character vibes.
And it's like, we're going to the beach. We're wearing bikinis,
No, we're all main characters, and kind of trying to emulate that and trying to encourage people to, like, step into that for themselves.
Go after what you want. Go for the date that you want. Go for the man or the woman, or, go for the dream that you want. It's like, I grew up having so much shame placed on me for any want that I had.
And like, if I liked someone, it was like something to tease them about, that the fat girl liked you. Or if I liked a dress or something, it was always like, I could never get to a point where what I wanted mattered. And I felt constantly like, oh, well, yeah, whenever you lose weight, like, we'll talk about it. Or like, you know, you can, why don't you lose some weight and then you can have the Chanel, or, you know, things like that. Like, it wasn't even from my family. It was like everyone else kept telling me that because I was fat, I was never going to be loved. I was never going to date. I was never going to get married. I was never going to have children. I was never going to be healthy or active or any of these things. And at a certain point, it's just like, I realized that I was never going to be any of those things if I kept listening to them. And I also needed the outfits to do those things. And I think that's another thing, is like 5 years ago, there wasn't a workout line that fit me. You know, there wasn't hiking shoes that had wide calf, you know, there weren't, it's just so many things have changed since we've begun the Plus Bus, that we saw as the future for plus size people back then, and we have always wanted, has now, it's come full circle, and it's become, you know, look at what you can do with all the room that you take up in your mind trying to shrink yourself. This is what happens when you take that time and that space out of your mind and you say, I am a person who deserves to have wants, needs, desires, and dreams, and I'm going to do them regardless of what I look like.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think there was a point in my life I did that too, where I had that dress, that outfit that I said, well, I'm just going to lose weight and then I'll wear it. And I had it hanging there. And I was like, one day I was just like, yeah, I'm going to just toss this away. There's no point. I'm like not trying to fit that. You know,
bring it to the Plus Bus.
Don't
throw it away.
I know.
I have a question. So, how did you guys like come up with, you know, starting this business? Like,
We'll tell you the short version because we have told this story so many times, and I feel like there's so much else I feel like we want to talk about for your viewers. But we basically had a swap. We both, like Jen said, just were in a place where we had such an abundance of clothes, nothing really to show for it, other than great Instagram photos. Yeah. And then we had a swap. We had a really successful first event. And basically at the end, I remember thinking, like, in a way, you bring 2 items, you take 2 items. You bring 30 items, you're going to take 30 items.
I made it so complicated.
But even that was not the case. No, people came, they brought 30 items, they took 1 item. So at the end of the event, we were literally left with so many clothes. It was enough to fill up a boutique. And I remember just like calling our husbands and my dad and like, please bring trucks to downtown LA. Our cars were packed. I mean, you could barely fit one little body in to drive, full of clothes.
Oh, shit.
I think it was 10 racks we had after our donation too. Like, we had made a huge donation to Dress for Success. That was like the original plan with this swap.
It was
like,
a one and done.
Yeah, we're going to do a charity event. Everyone's going to bring their stuff. They're going to swap. And then when we did it, it was so fun. And so obviously needed.
But at the end of the event, she says to me, well, I've always wanted to like get a truck and drive around the country and thrift plus size clothes and sell plus size clothes. Yeah. And I said, oh, like a Plus Bus. And now I want to take that moment back and name it something else. But that is how the Plus Bus was born.
We're growing weary of the bus.
But we just got a bus this year. So it actually took us 7 years to actually purchase a bus, which again, like I really wanted to talk to you today really with the entrepreneurship aspect. That was so interesting to me about, you know, women in business and encouraging the people out there listening or watching this who want to do a business, want to just take that leap and don't have the money, don't think they have the right idea, don't have the encouragement. That it was a dream. It was a dream and a bunch of clothes. And from there, we started just doing these pop-ups. And then Jen, through Facebook, found a little space, and it was $500 a month. And we both just said, okay.
That's the one that you guys were talking
yes.
about. Okay.
And if nobody comes, you can
afford.
afford.
No one sells. If we don't sell one more dress, which we were selling probably about every time we would pop up, we would do like 1,500. So I was like, we're gonna be fine, you know. But we're like, do you have 250 and I have 250?
We're gonna have a great wardrobe. We'll have a great storage space for all of our clothes.
It'll be a closet.
And I mean, I remember the first day that I sold $200 worth of clothes to one person.
Oh wow.
because I think at the time, and again, me not coming from a secondhand background, it was very downtown. You know, I would say, oh, this place feels dirty. I can't invite so-and-so here. She's like, it's downtown cool. It's edgy. And I'm like, oh, that's one way to look at it. But the first...
It was very like a warehouse
humble
that
beginnings.
we made that space in. I see photos of it now looking back and think, man,
so cute.
We made it so beautiful in there, and like with nothing, literally just with like dreams. So
that's really how it started. It's just like really one little thing at a time. $200 here, $200 there. Okay, let's paint the walls.
If we build it, they will come.
Absolutely. We took over the entire space because it was shared, and then that was about a couple years later, and then during the pandemic, this space became available and has been a total game changer for us. But it was a huge leap of faith to move. June 2020. Dun dun dun.
Another Facebook. I am in a really active moms club on Facebook, and a lot of us are business owners in that group, particularly in the Northeast LA area. And so I have a lot of friends on this street that are in my mom's club, and one of them had this space as a toy store at that time. And so she had posted in our private group, like, I'm selling all the toys, I'm closing the store. And I was like, interesting, I'm coming over right now. Like,
we were moving in like 3 days later, signing a lease.
That's how it is.
It was just
amazing.
like we were able to negotiate lower rent because of coronavirus. We were able to, really take over what they were paying and everything.
Get the PPP.
Yes, and we really took that moment. Even just the 3 months before that, we really focused on the Plus Bus. We were
both of us have had full-time jobs the
Yeah.
whole time that we've run the Plus Bus until very, very recently.
Like this year is literally the first year that I haven't worked for other brands as of January 1st.
It's such a difference.
It's a huge.
I quit my job in August of last year.
I quit
It's not
working
easy.
like
Well, it was
corporate,
easy, but not really.
but I quit
corporate?
working. I quit working corporate in 2016, but when I in 2018 had my last like kind of TJ Maxx manufacturing job, I was just like, I literally can't do this anymore. And also, if I'm doing 175 styles a month for them, I could probably do less on my own by myself with my sewers that I know. So I basically did that, and I came out of corporate world and I said, I'm only doing plus sizes. And so for the last 4 years, I have been, doing product development, manufacturing, product production, and production management for all kinds of plus size brands that are expanding into plus sizes or changing their size ranges or just being created from nothing. There's at least 3 brands that didn't exist 3 years ago that I drew everything, started their logos and, just so to have all of that space in my mind for myself now, for my designs and like for my, like what I want to do with my voice, because although it was still related, it wasn't mine.
Well, and the Plus Bus, I mean, we've both been really sort of distracted, sort of here, but a little bit not asleep at the wheel, and because I don't want to say it like that, but I think that when you are working
Doing
another job, trying to make money, trying to make ends meet, and then you're over here like, okay, let me go to the Plus Bus for a couple hours and try to sell, or she'll come through and organize some racks, do the windows, and then she's got to go pick up her kids. Like, we're just kind of using the scraps of our time to grow this business, and we have had a great team, and that's been one thing that I think if I had to say, number one, hire people that you trust and are amazing and know the business that you're in, but also try to work as much as you can at your own business. Yeah. So that is one thing that we, in the early days, Jen would work the desk a lot, but then she had a kid, she had a job.
Until, my son is 6 years old, and I was there breastfeeding him, and I remember being in the shop with him, and I just think about that now, like how hard it was, and also like how I'm so proud that I did it, because like it was an investment in now, because now we have people that can work in the shop, and like I can go to my kids' soccer games or whatever, and
Oh God, yeah.
you know, I can be available. Just working for yourself, honestly.
But I think
like,
also, like, we're at a time where we need to focus on, like, the next level. Like, we finally have, like, our proof of concept. We know the foundation is built. And now it's time to, like, not get stuck in the minutia of what's happening here, but take it to the next
how
level
many plus
where
buses can we open?
well, meeting people, reaching people.
Yeah.
We know that this concept, it's life-saving. Having a wardrobe that works for you and that makes you feel in your gender and your purpose and your identity fulfilled. It's like it's our mission now. So we need to be trying to like grow the business in those ways and focus on marketing or events, doing press.
Good.
Oh, we
That's what we
Thank
we
you.
left. I was like, they're doing it right. And we
trying.
both were just talking like, as we're driving over there, we had the sense of so much. He said it was really great. Like everybody was amazing. Everybody was happy, positive.
So
and I
you
was
recently
like,
came to an event, right?
Yeah, it was last week,
Right.
Wednesday. So it was really, really nice. It was really beautiful. And
Right.
we left, and the first thing I said, I was like, they know what they're doing. They know how to market. Like
We're trying. I mean, we have better partners now as we grow, people that have their own followings. I think we're definitely seen now as like the place for plus size fashion in LA. And if you want to have an event, if you want to sell your wardrobe, like this is where you come. And so, but that's, again, that's
But
an
also we
investment in
do-
time, blood, sweat,
and we
tears.
also do like need grace still. We are still scrappy. We are still doing it. We do still have so many other commitments, and we are trying to keep it as owner like present as possible. You can tell when a business loses that owner presence, and
Well, and socially aware.
just, like-
I mean, we're trying to be as socially aware in all areas, and we need grace. Like we are growing, and we're having growing pains at times, and
trying
doing
to
the
get
best
all
that
of
we
the
can.
things done instead of trying to do all of the things with intention. Like that's our thing this year is like it's not as important that it gets done on some kind of timetable that we have made up. It's more important that the feeling is good, the impact is successful, and the community feels supported. And that's like we don't get to say what we are to the community. The community tells us what we are to the community. And the community constantly that we serve is consistently underserved, consistently marginalized, consistently has overlapping identities that coexist, and also fatness covers all of these things. And so if we are to make a fat safe space, then we also have to make an anti-racist space. We have to make
Queer safe.
a queer safe space. We have to make, everyone feel as safe as we can in this environment that we have created, because we aren't just selling clothes here. We are selling a lifestyle. We're selling a frame of mind. We're selling
Hopes and dreams.
No, we're selling what you need in order to make the clothes work too. We're giving you the opportunity to wear them. We're making the events for you to come in your dress. We're creating the environments where you will feel safe in a fat body, experiencing, let's say, roller skating or the beach or these things that shouldn't be off limits for us, but also no one has created that space where it's like, this is a fat beach day. And if you don't know what that means, then you don't get it. Because when we're on the beach with our fat bitches, it is 1000% healing for every person there. And it's different. It's not the same as going with your skinny friends. It's not the same as just going to the beach. It's
No, I know what you mean, because I want to say, like, when you leave here, you don't leave with just clothes. You kind of leave with a little bit of, like, self-love and kind of, like, I can do this. I can wear these. Like, that's what it is.
That's literally going to make me cry because, like...
No, because that's what it is, what I feel here. When I come in here, and I haven't purchased anything, but I just felt it, like, I walked away, I was like, for the first time, I feel like I am not ashamed of, like, my body or anything. I feel more, like, empowered. Like, I've always been there was a time where I was like super covering my body and stuff like that. Like today, it's just because I had this outfit and I was like,
But you're also wearing bright pink,
Yeah,
so
so
you can wear head to toe bright pink, and
But-
you're not really covering anything.
no. And then I remember there's a switch in my brain that said, fuck this. Like, I'm plus size and this is it and I don't care. I love myself. It's a whole different thing. But here, I don't know what it is, but I was in this level. But coming here made me go to the next level.
That's
To
incredible,
really
yeah.
just be like, I just don't care. Like, this is me. and
It's that and a comment on Yelp or Google review
Yeah.
and a 5 stars that really like
Like,
keeps
I'm
us
not
going.
alone. When I was here, it just felt like I'm not alone. Like, this is amazing. I love this. I loved it.
Thank you.
It's really,
That's what it was.
it's really incredible to see the space that it opens up inside of people's lives. And I can show you people that started shopping here when we started, and now how they are. You know, some of them have gone through, 3 different gender identities by the time, and now they feel fully embodied, and these things, although it can be so shallow talking about fashion and, oh my God, it's so cute, it's so cute, it's so cute. Like, I say that all day. But at the end of the day, like, my mission has always been, since like I was 14, is like, how can I make fat people feel beautiful and centered, and like they are the epitome of beauty.
Yeah.
And I think the plus bus every day kind of chips away at this notion that
guys
we
do.
have.
You guys
We've
do.
all held that we literally don't belong in fashion, that we don't have a voice, that we like what we have to express with clothing is not important, and that our bodies are merely like something to be changed. And I think obviously I feel like the plus bus could have its own TV show, its own movie, its own, podcast and therapy session. I mean, people need this space so much for so many things.
You guys should definitely do a podcast. Because we already talked about like the struggles you guys are going through here, and the good things too. So what do you guys do to kind of lighten up everything up? Like when you're going through a bad day, what do you do to kind of get out of that funk?
Like, doing this alone will destroy you. I don't know how people do it by themselves.
And so many people tell us that. You're so lucky you have a partner. And we've had someone recently tell us.
I was about to just tell you, you are very lucky to have a
Someone
partner.
recently told us, I can't believe y'all are still together. And
That was Wednesday. I heard you say that.
well, it's a dear friend, actually, one of the people who's been the most instrumental in starting that 10 racks of clothes. Melinda, who just opened her store, Moo Moo Mansion, across town, which I love and is actually one of my refuges now. I love, if I have to go to Beverly Hills or I have to be on that side of town,
You're like, yes.
I love popping over there, having a place where I can go. It's not specifically a plus size store, but it's a beautiful, curated space with amazing goods.
And there's plus sizes in there.
And there is plus sizes in there that she gets from us. And she said, she came here in December before her opening, and she said, I can't believe y'all are still together. And I think that people do underestimate the amount of work it is to have a partner, and also the blessing it is to have a partner, because you do have someone to bounce things off of. You do have that ability to share the burden of things. We always say we're like yin and a yang. I don't even know if you're allowed to say that anymore, but
we are
You are.
polar opposites, and I think that creates a completeness. We don't fight about the same outfits or the same paramours or the same even food. Like, we just we
people
complement
need to
each
realize-
other in a way.
People need to realize, even in business partnership, it's a relationship.
oh yeah, we're like married. We're married.
No, we're definitely.
But how do we pick it up? I mean, we have definitely had some challenges recently, and our theme for the last year and continuing on this year is to try to do what we do better.
And with
What
more
do you-
intention.
And with more intention. So what do we do on times where, and I'm just telling you, this last 2 weeks has been really rough for us and has been a time of reflection. And I think we just have to always focus back on the mission. It's like, what are we here to do? And as long as we know our intention is to try to make a safe space for fat people, and that's what we're just going to continue to try to do. We get that 5-star review and we read it and remind each other. We go and we take a walk and have a coffee and go get a little lunch, a little treat, a little snack. We spend time together.
Spending
yesterday
time
on
together.
Valentine's Day, we were just all here together, like loving on each other. And I think that even Valentine's Day, which, just passed, it's like reflecting on self-love as the best love, being with people that are not romantic interests. And I think as adults, it's a lot easier to evolve Valentine's Day into this Galentine's Day, Palentine's Day, business partner day. Like yesterday was such a special day with a lot of great energy here at the Plus Bus. And for it to be Valentine's Day too, we saw so many new customers coming in alone, with their besties. I'm like, okay, next year we've got to have champagne all day. We got to have chocolate covered strawberries all day. And really, that's the thing. 7 years in, I feel like, we're finally going to be prepared for prom season. Next year, we'll be ready for Valentine's Day. It's like, for us, it's just, for me, what picks me up is like focusing on the mission, focusing on what can we do. I fucked up over there. What can I do right today?
Going back to the list too. Like that's like, I think part of like what makes us both happy in particular and makes us feel like satisfied and restful is like when we have control of that list. And I think when things come in and disrupt what we're doing, it is really helpful just to like, because a lot of it we'll do an email, text, blah, blah, blah. And like just getting face to face, giving each other a hug, being like, let's just talk, let's go through all of these things. And then just having the other person, it really does like relax you. And then also we use the Plus Bus to live the life that we want to live. Like we want to go to Vegas and see Magic Mike. So we're making a whole Plus Bus trip to go see Magic Mike. Like,
well, I think going back to
those
leaving
little Easter eggs in our year
Coachella,
of like, for us.
Going out last night, I went out to West Hollywood to a drag show because one of our customers hosts it, and I want to go and I want to have fun and see Trixie Mattel and Willem and all these fancy people like Simone and Gigi Good and all these drag queens from Drag Race. Like it was the best night ever. And Dex Rated was there, who's this plus size influencer, and I got to meet him and say hello, and it's just so great. So I think it's always just coming back to the focus, coming back to the joy of it, and remembering why we're doing this. Like we actually really didn't set out with the intention to like make money. It was like we wanted great wardrobes. And as we refocus and realize that money will help us grow and will help us do better things and give more, that's just all we can do. And I think turning away from corporate or from other things that at the end of the day, like I still will take other jobs that are, I just know right now I need to do short-term jobs that are in LA because I work as a producer. And so that can be a really lucrative business, but I haven't since the end of November, and it's been 2 months of just laser focus, getting so much done for the store. And the reality is also that sometimes I can be working on a baking show and I'm sitting in front of a desk for 10 hours while people literally bake cakes, and there's nothing for me to do, and I could get paid to sit there and work on other things. So, I think for us having that 2020 moment, that beat in 2020 where we sat literally 10 feet apart, and she made masks
out because I didn't know what else to do.
She made masks, and then I'm like, we didn't used to sell anything online. Very little. We didn't have a website. We didn't have anything.
We had one live sale once a week at 8:30 p.m.
We were like, we want the IRL experience. We're sick of buying clothes online. We want to touch it and feel it and try it on. Well, the reality is not everyone has that privilege. And so I started...
we're like a 500 square foot tiny place in LA. Like there's a whole world of people that need.
Well, and all we had was clothes. Like all these clothes. Like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And so Jen's making masks and I was putting clothes on a mannequin and taking pictures, and we did $10,000 on Instagram that month. And I remember thinking, what the hell?
We looked at each other. We're like, we can do this.
Why am I not selling things on Instagram? Like, this is so insane. So
I see the lives that you guys do. That's amazing.
And then
this
live
is even just like I saw people selling on their Instagram stories. I'm like, we don't even have to do anything. We just put the picture up.
Yeah, just the picture on the mannequin, no lives. And then, of course, now live streaming more and now having a website. And I mean, I think every day there's something else we could be doing and some new platform to sell on and some new auction. We, telethon. We have so many ideas. We're both idea generators.
Yes,
and
I see that
so
very much. But I also see the balance too.
But I think like we all I think I can be really unrealistic, and I think like that's like Marcy is like, okay, let's do, what can we actually do? Like we can't have a disco ball stallion and you arrive on it, but we could maybe have disco ball hats, like, or you know what I mean? Like, it's just like like taking, I mean, we also just like have invested all of our own time, all of our own money. Like, what can we do with $30? How can we get this paid? Like when we moved in, we stayed here for months.
I'm also like done being afraid. I feel like this last few months has given us a real sort of like laser focus on what we need. And the reality is that there's a lot of people that take a lot of money and they waste it and they flush it down the toilet. And I'm talking about millions and billions of dollars. If you watch any shows or TV or documentaries about tech companies or startups or things like WeWork that has a scripted and a documentary version, the reality is that what we need to build and to change and to continue to create this space is money. And so I am just like at a place right now where it's like, let's go. I'm not afraid. Let's take the loan. Let's charge it. Let's get American Express to let us, get a credit card. And I love the way that thing feels in my hand, baby. So the hard card.
Not to mention then we have points. We can travel. We can go to Vegas for free.
So we're just honestly like every opportunity we have to create a space like this with you and to meet new people and to have exposure to a new audience is really a gift. And so we really thank you for coming out today too.
Yeah, same here. I just want you guys to just give the last thing to just tell people out there, a positive quote or something so they can end it with anything you guys can think of.
I just would say anything you want to dream, just don't be afraid. I think that's the moral of my story. I think this all started with the dream, and really Jen is my muse. I never intended to own a store, and she told me that I had to stop saying that because like 2 years ago I was like, I don't want this. This is your dream, not mine. And she's like,
don't say that.
She's like, stop saying that. You do like it.
You do love it. You're running a business. You own a business, and you're like a pillar of the community. Like that's what you get out of it. I get to do my fashion and you get to be a mogul, but
dream, dream big and take steps towards your dream. And that's the thing about ideas and dreams is that really that's all they are until you take action. And so I'm very big on action and being.
Stop talking about it. Do it.
Or just what can you do today? You can't do the whole thing. You can't, whatever. Mount Everest wasn't built in a day or however, a pyramid. You can do one brick. If you're going to build, Rome wasn't built in a day. Thank you. I'm turning into my mother.
Oh, no.
She's always been horrible with those kinds of things. So Rome wasn't built in a day, right? The pyramids weren't built in a day. What can you do today to just place one brick? One brick today. And who is that person in your circle, in your mom's group on Facebook, in your little world that can help you with that one step? I think that is where I think we have seen the most success, and that would be my most encouraging thing to anyone out there wanting to do any little dream business. It's just take one step every day if you can towards that thing. And usually if you are having momentum and forward energy towards something, you will get there eventually, and you just might get there slowly. And I think we're kind of there too. Every day someone is like, why don't you have a store in Pennsylvania? Why don't you open a store in Arkansas and Houston and Dallas? And I think,
believe me, I would in a second.
we're there. We're ready, and the time is coming, but we are just truly like one brick at a time. Yeah. And so until somebody comes over with a huge cement truck with lots of supplies in it.
It's only you two. It's only you two.
Only us two, and only literally
10 people that are working under us.
Staff, but financially
yes.
and
Financially,
it's not our husbands, it's not our familial wealth. We didn't get. But
we blessings. Also, we recently had a very dear kind of angel loan that came to us, and those moments are also life-changing, and it's also really beautiful to be blessed. We're 7 years in. So our original first rent the building that we rented, the one we're talking about, those men that rented that space to us on
You told me not to cry, and then you're going to start talking about Bob.
A one-page lease, $500 a month.
One page. It was like 2 sentences.
and those men have now passed away, but they are now through their trust, blessed us with a loan at a very low percentage that can really help us. And so I think what's important is, again, having relationships, investing in relationships and people and your intentions. When we went, and they were old guys, so we would go help them fix their Roku, or Jen would take them a gallon of milk, or your computer's not working, it's not plugged in. Yeah. And that, those are not our angels. And always those moments of fixing the Roku or taking the milk, and it was never to get this money. It was just, we're going to do that because we're good neighbors. And so I think that's our positivity. It's just investing in people and having pure intentions.
Not having expectations either. It's just pure what you love to do.
I think as a whole, coming from your heart is never a bad idea. And I think the plus is all heart. Like,
Oh yeah, you guys are definitely
To a fault.
you can see it, you know, we bleed pink here, but like, I think my advice to anyone, or my little like wrap up, would be like, don't wait for your body to change, for you to live the life that you want to live, because
praise on that.
your body is a gift. It's a vessel, and there is no one in the world that has your point of view or your perspective, and that is your gift. It's not how you look. It's not your body. It's not the 5 pounds. It's not how skinny you are. It's that interior life, the way that you can bring that out into the world and bless people with your perspective is going to heal you.
Sure.
And fat people need to be told
Oh yeah.
1,000 times more.
That they're magic, which is also what your dad
You're
calls you.
telling it. You're
My
telling
dad
it.
calls me Little Magic. But I have been stubbornly obsessed with the notion that fat people are beautiful and unique and artistic and creative and successful since I was young, because I was one, and I knew that I was that. And I was blessed with a family that encouraged that and didn't tell me that I needed to lose weight. But going through life knowing that I had a special voice and that I was the magic that I'm looking for out in the world. Everything in this room was once my idea, or a sentence I said, or something that I literally made into existence because of my perspective. And that is the key of life. That is the key of anything. It's not just about being fat or anything. It's literally like using your vessel to express that oneness with creativity and the world and the universe that we all are. We all are really amazing individuals inside. And that's, I think, the struggle of life is like getting that interior richness and vastness down into a grain that someone else could digest. But I think it's worth working on it no matter what you look like.
I love that. No matter.
Now you made me want to watch Encanto. I loved Encanto. It just reminds me of the gifts, right? We all have a gift, and like using your gift. Oh my God, I love it so much.
Well, I want to wrap this up. I want to say thank you guys for giving me this opportunity to sit down with you guys here. I felt loved and positive, and the things that you guys said it's helping me too, because I'm also an owner of my own business. Even though I have my partner, we both have individual businesses. So what you guys said, everything, especially what you were saying, it's so powerful. And thank you so much for having me here. Honestly, it's like, it's the other way around. Usually I'm like, thank you guys being here. No, thank you for having me here.
Well, thanks for coming here. And now it's time to shop.
Every time we get to synthesize our ideas more, it like
wrap,
feels
people.
even better.
It's a wrap. Thank you guys. I'm Marcy Guevara-Preet.
I'm Jen Wilder.
And we own the
The
Plus
Plus
Bus.
Bus.
You can find us in Highland Park, California, where we have a brick and mortar we're sitting in right now. Or you can shop online at theplusbus.com. And we're all over the internet. At
Don't
The Plus
miss our
Bus.
live sales every day on Instagram.
I sincerely hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. Thank you so much for joining us and listening. Don't forget to like, comment, leave a review, follow us on socials, and subscribe because you won't want to miss the magic.